I'm live. Hi. Oh, finally. I've been trying to get live for the last 10 minutes. So hello and welcome to the online hair clinic with me, Clara Alexander. Yes, you might have noticed I've changed my hair. Do you like it? Do you like it? I actually do. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's talk about what the topic is for today. And a question that I've been asked a lot is, especially for people that come into the clinic and they see the different hair stranding textures, because most of the time they just only get to see a small sample. And one of the questions that they ask is, what density should we go for? Bearing in mind that most people like to have something that is very natural, that it looks like it could be their own hair, and some of the previous systems have, given people a lot thicker hair. So sometimes if we're doing a absolute swap, say from an existing system to a hair stranding system, people have gotten so used to the amount of hair that they've got on their head that they can't see themselves looking better with less hair. So, but stranding is created to give you more of a natural look. It's very difficult to get stranding to the point where it is a lot of hair. So if you're looking for lots and lots of hair, we can do it with stranding, but it means that we'd have to put a lot of hair on the strand itself, which could literally strain the strand. So the way the system is created is really so that you have almost back what you would have had to start off with. It looks at the amount of hair that you have on your scalp. So say, for example, everybody starts from 100%. So whatever your 100% is, could be 100% thick, could be 100% fine. So you start off from 100%. Then you start to lose some hair, or your hair goes thin. Now, what we do is we look to see, well, if we all started from 100% and you've lost a certain proportion, how much have you lost? So in degrees of percentages, is it 25%? Is it 50%? Is it 60%? And then what then happens is the strand of hair adds it up to create 100%. So if you lost 25%, then the strand should only have 25% worth of hair on it because you've got 75%. If you've lost 50%, then the strand will have 50% of hair on it. So the addition of the 50% plus your own hair gives you the 100%. It is not, some people do go a little bit more. So for example, they may have only lost 25%, but because they want thicker hair, they will then add in 75% additional hair, which the overall look would be thicker hair. So you've got to look at it from that viewpoint. So it's not about looking at what the strand looks like, because you could have, you could hold the strand in your hand and you think, oh, it's not much hair on. But when it goes onto your own scalp and it integrates with your own scalp, you'd actually find that the combination of the two gives you the full hair. Now, that's what's different between stranding and other systems, because with the other systems, it replaces your hair. So the system itself has to have 100%, and sometimes they've got more than 100%, but it actually needs to have at least a base of 100% because there is none of your own hair to play with. So, but with stranding, because we combine the two together to give you a natural look, we are looking at how much hair have you got, how much hair is on, how much hair therefore does the strand need, and the combination of the two. Now, the other thing that determines how much hair in terms of density is how your own hair is scattered. So when you're looking from if your hair is fine, or if you're going through female pattern baldness, you may find at the top of your head it's really, really fine, but the fineness is consistent across the area, meaning that you've lost the same proportion of hair in all the in the area where you're suffering from the thinning from. What we then do is we match the size hole that is required to your own hair. So the more hair you have in the area, so this is not about the amount of hair you've got on your head, this is about the amount of hair you've got per square. the more hair you've got per square, the larger the hole will be. The less hair you got per square, the smaller the hole will be. And the reason being is that if you've got like less hair per square and you've got a large hole, then the stranding is not covering. Say this is the stranding piece, you only have stranding on the perimeter. So the stranding is not covering the internal section, which should be covered by your own hair. And that's probably not a good illustration, but anyway. So the smaller we go with the hole sizes, then that is indicating that in that same area where you would have just had one hole size, you've actually now got, say, two hole sizes, two different holes, which means that will cover a larger area because you've got less hair in that area. So there's two things that we take into consideration when we're looking at the density. One is how much hair do we put into the strand itself, and the second is the size of the hole. So if we're going for smaller holes, if you have, say for example, you've got a bundle of hair, and you've got small holes, and you put that same bundle of hair onto the small holes, it will seem as if you've got a lot more hair than if you had that same bundle of hair and you put it onto larger holes. That's because the way the hair is going to be proportionally distributed. So if you've got more hair in an area, it looks thicker than if you've got less hair in an area, and that's literally how it would look. So the larger we go in the holes, the less the hair is going to look like. The smaller we go in the holes, the more the hair is going to look like, even though you have the same amount of hair. It's all about proportions. So what is really important when you're looking at hair stranding and you're trying to figure out, I don't want hair that's going to look really big on my head, but at the same time I want something that's going to look natural. Take those two things into consideration. Obviously from a clinic perspective, that's something that our consultants do, so they will always check the amount of hair that you have. They will look at the density that you're looking to go to, and then they will then give you what they believe would be the best option for you. But having said that, you're still entitled to your own views. So it's good for you to be keyed up, and good for you to already know yourself how that figure or how that number or how that size is determined. The more information you can arm yourself with will put you in a more comfortable position when you're being told stuff, because nobody wants to be told stuff you're thinking, I don't know, and one of the things that we tend to find is we might have a client in the chair, and because the client is not clued up, they're like, well, what do you think's best, and they're generally asking for your advice, and that's great, there is no issue with that. But the problem starts to happen when a consultant is offering you their advice, whereas actually what you want or what you feel comfortable with is something different. Because you can purchase a system that looks totally natural, absolutely totally natural. People walk down the street and go, wow, that hair's gorgeous, it looks natural, and it does. But if you don't feel that it looks natural, then your feeling trumps everybody else's words. So if everyone else is telling you it looks good, but you don't feel like it looks good, then as far as you're concerned, it doesn't look good. You're not going to feel comfortable. So therefore, it's really important that you also have a level of understanding, and you also can challenge anything that comes to you. So it's not just about taking what someone says on board and then just like, that's it. It's really, because at the end of the day, you're the person that's going to have to wear the hair. You're the person that's going to have to look after it. You're the person that's going to have to pay for it. So it's important that you are clued up as much as possible. And the purpose of these online clinics is to give you just that, is to give you an insight into the sort of things that we do, so that you understand why we're doing it. You understand, when we quote a particular density, you understand it. And there is nothing wrong with you asking the question, well, why did you choose this over this? Why did you choose 25% over 50%? We should be able to tell you the reason why. And if we can't, then there's something wrong. And you should be able to ask the question, well, why are you going with smaller holes than larger holes? And we should be able to again answer that question for you. But just accepting what we say without you having the understanding yourself is a very dangerous road to walk on. I'm not saying that, it's going to be an issue if you're not clued up, but what I'm saying is that it's better if you are. So anyway, I came in a little bit late, so I don't have that much time to spend in the clinic, but I just really wanted to get that point across in terms of the densities. It is important because once the hair is on the strand, it's very difficult to take it off. Some people err on the side of caution and they go for a lot less hair to start off with, and then they add additional hair onto it, and that's a good way to go. The only thing that I would say is that if we need to add more hair onto the strands, then we need to take it off your head and then get the hair added in. So that's another thing to think about. But that is also an option. There are ways in which we can get around it. We can order what I call an additional patch that just sits over what your existing order is. You can do that. It is a little bit messy to attach that onto your own hair, but it is an option for both like whole sizes as well, because sometimes you get a whole size and you're not comfortable with the whole size, or you've lost more hair and you need a smaller whole size in that period of time, and we can do that with the patches, which means you don't need to take off what you've currently got, and we just add that on top of it. But I like clean things, and it's very crystal clean and easy and straightforward. So if we can get it right the first time, that's the best. That's the best. Anyway, I hope that you picked up something from that, and I've helped somebody out there. I hope I've helped you. Any questions, anything, just drop them in the comments. Give us a call. We've got clinics. Remember, we've got our clinics in London, Birmingham, Redditch, Glasgow, Sheffield, Wakefield now. And this clinic, my very own, which is the Cheshire Clinic based in Holborn. So I look forward to seeing some of you, and I look forward to speaking with some of you, and my consultants are on board, ready to receive your calls. Take care, guys. Have a great weekend. See you soon. Bye.